Welcome students. I am Asif Abul Kalam, teaching English at Bushland School and College. Let's have a look at the learning outcomes. Students will be able to distinguish between direct and indirect speech, understand the basic concept of changes in different types of sentences, use conjunction accordingly. Changes in personal pronouns. The mouse said, "Mother, I am hungry." It's a direct speech. So when we convert it into indirect speech, it becomes the mouse told its mother that it was hungry. See, the I relates to the mouse. So I changes to it and mother changes to its mother. Direct indirect speech changes in conjunctions part 2. There are two types of questions. WH questions, that is question beginning with any of the WH words such as who, which, what, how, etc. And yes or no questions, that is questions beginning with any of the auxiliary or helping verbs such as are, is, can, will, has, etc. Direct to indirect speech changes conjunction part 3. When we change an yes or no question sentence from direct into indirect, we use the conjunction if or whether. Though there is some difference between the conjunction if and whether, at this basic level, using just if or all the yes or no questions is justified. See the following sentence. A woman said to me, "Is she really driving?" It's an interrogative sentence or yes or no question. So when we convert it into indirect speech, it becomes a woman asked me if she was really driving. Here are some notes to follow. The word order of the question sentence is different from that of the statement sentence. The difference is, in a statement sentence, the subject comes first and the verb comes second. But in interrogative or question sentence, the verb comes first and the subject comes second. Here is an example of a statement sentence. He is a boy. Notice, he subject first is verb comes after. Now, in interrogative sentence, we see that the verb comes first. Is he a boy? Here are few more notes. While changing an interrogative sentence from direct to indirect, the main verb in the introductory clause, usually said, is changed into asked, inquired, wanted to know, etc. And the word order is inversed. You can notice in the example that said to becomes asked, is accordingly becomes was, and this bag becomes that bag. Changes in conjunction, part 4. Here are some other examples. Let's see. He said to her, "What has he done?" It's a direct sentence which consists of WH question. He asked her what he had done. Indirect sentence. See that here WH words is behaving like a linker in the indirect sentence. For WH question, no conjunction is used. The WH word in the direct speech sentence is used as it is. Here are some other examples. She said to them, "Who wants to help me?" Direct speech. She asked them who wanted to help her. Indirect speech. Notice that who has not changed. Now, let's see the changes that occurs in the question sentences which consist of auxiliary verbs. Here is an example. He said to her, "Do you like this frog?" Do, yes or no question. He asked her if she liked that frog. Indirect sentence. Conjunction if or for yes or no question. So instead of do, we use if here. Let's see another example. The man said to the boy, "Can you see those stars or not?" Can, yes or no question. When we convert it into indirect speech, it becomes the man inquired the boy whether he could see those stars or not. Indirect speech. Whether or not. Let's see another example. She said to the students, "Who knows the answer?" It's a direct speech. When we convert it to indirect speech, it becomes she asked the students who knew the answer. Indirect speech. So who remains the same. It does not change. Now let's see the changes in conjunctions that occurs in imperative sentences. While changing the imperative sentences from direct to indirect, we do not use any conjunctions at all. We change the verb of the subordinate clause, actual spoken words, to its to infinitive form, and the main verb in the introductory clause is changed into requested, ordered, wanted to know, warned, shouted, etc., depending on the context. Let's have a look at the example. The policeman said to the drivers, "Stop." So when we convert it into indirect speech, it becomes the policeman shouted at the drivers to stop. See, here stop, the verb has become an infinitive. To stop, to infinitive form of the main verb stop. Let's have a look at another example. He said to the visitors, "Keep quiet, please." It's a direct speech. When we convert it into direct speech, it becomes he requested the visitors to keep quiet. Now, keep quiet has become infinitive to keep quiet. And the please has become requested or acting as a reporting verb. Here is another example. The manager said to him, "Don't postpone your work." It's a direct speech. Don't or do not is a negative form of the sentence. So when we convert it into indirect speech, it becomes the manager warned him not to postpone his work. Let's have another example. The mother said, "Don't cry, baby, don't cry." It's a direct speech, and when we convert it into indirect speech, it becomes the mother told the baby repeatedly not to cry. So here, don't cry becomes not to cry. And as the word has been repeated, so we have used the word repeatedly. The mother told the baby repeatedly not to cry. When the verb let in the subordinate clause or actual spoken words of the direct speech sentence expresses a suggestion, we use the word suggested in the introductory clause of the indirect speech sentence, and the word let is not mentioned in the indirect sentence. Instead, we use the helping verb should with the main verb. Let's have a look at the following sentence. She said to her friends, "Let's go for a picnic." It's a direct speech. Here, let is used to suggest something. She suggested to her friends that they should go for a picnic. It's a indirect speech. Now, here, let's has become suggested and go has been converted to should go. Now let's see the changes that occurs in an exclamatory sentence. While changing an exclamatory sentence from direct to indirect, we have to rewrite the entire sentence expression in order to keep the desired emotion. Therefore, you have got to wait until you have mastered the other kinds of sentences. Best of luck. Thank you very much, dear students.